Hey, what's up guys? We are here for my NPL Week 10 match versus Trevor. It's actually a rematch. We played him in Week 3. Yeah, Week 3 I believe, and he's the commissioner of this league. He is the owner of this league. And yeah, he's a very formidable opponent, honestly. His team he drafted, you guys have seen it earlier. I'll just list it off again. Mega-Aerodactyl, Latios Z with the Z move, Mega-Pinsir, Chestnut, Chandelure, Weezing, Crawdaunt, Gigalith, Uxie, Zebstrika, and Seismitoad. So he has made 2 transactions between the time we played him and now. Previously he did have Mudsdale and Avalugg, and he picked up, he dropped those 2 and picked up Uxie and Seismitoad, yeah, Seismitoad. So definitely 2 much better mons than Mudsdale and Avalugg, even though Mudsdale and Avalugg were heat. But this definitely helps out his team, gives him 2 rockers instead of, I don't even know if Avalugg gets any hazards. It might get like spikes or something, I'm not entirely sure. And Mudsdale doesn't even get rocks, so he gets 2 new stealth rockers, and he gets pretty much 2 pretty bulky mons in general. Seismitoad has that quad weakness though, so he's got to patch that up, but he has plenty of resistances on his team for that, so it really fits his team nice, and I think it's a good transaction for him. So this isn't going to be as quick of a video. I'm going to try to go through this briefly because of the fact that I just don't really have the time right now, so I'm going to go through it pretty fast. So if you guys do remember, week 3 we did bring Aerodactyl, Meloetta, Tangrowth, and Heatran, the Raider, the Crocodile, and Patrick our Starmie. They are 2 new Pokemon we were bringing versus him. The last Pokemon we brought were Scarflygon and the bulkier Toxicroak to handle the Crawdaunt. So this week we are bringing a Starmie and a Crocodile instead. So that's just the 2 new Pokemon we were bringing versus him. And if you guys really have a great memory, the 3 Pokemon that we were bringing, Aerodactyl, Meloetta, and Tangrowth, are literally the same exact sets as the time we beat him in week 3. Nothing has changed. EVs, moves, everything is the same, because if it's not broke, why fix it? So that's my theory behind it, and hopefully it'll be just as good as last time. Plus it's a little bit of mind games, I feel like. I don't think he would think, oh, he's bringing the same exact set, or there's no way he's going to do that twice. So maybe I can catch him off guard with that. Maybe he'll be ready for it this time. Who knows? Maybe we'll pay for it. But anyway, this is the Aerodactyl set. We're bringing Aerial, Earthquake, Toxic with Roost, Max Attack, Adamant. The speed is to outspeed his Zebstrika. We got our Zelda, our Meloetta, with the Choice Scarf and the Spring Grace ability, Hyper Voice, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and U-Turn. This is great coverage versus his team, allows me to outspeed the Zebstrika with the Choice Scarf, so everything on his team. Zebstrika is his fastest mon. This is very, very nice to clean game with. This is what I clean game with last time, so we're going to try to do it again. The perfect coverage because I don't want to have a Psychic and get locked into Psychic while he tries to set up Dragon Dances or Swords Dances with any of his threats, like Crawdaunt mainly. So that's my main theory. I don't want to have an immune move to him. I want to have at least a move that's going to do damage to him. U-Turn for momentum because it's very nice getting momentum on his team, and apply pressure with hazards. That's my game plan. So that's the Meloetta set. We're bringing max special attack Modest to be able to hit as hard as possible, break through some of his walls, potentially something like the Chestnut and the Mega-Aerodactyl. So that's my theory behind that. Shadow Ball always 2 hit KOs Latios, unless he's some weird, really bulky Assault Vest set or whatever the Ghost Berry is. So next we have Tangrowth, our Grass Kicker. This is the same exact set we brought last time. Very, very special defensive with Assault Vest, allows us to sponge up those Draco Meteors or potential floor cannons from Mega-Aerodactyl, so that's pretty much my main check to it. It also allows me to check Zebstrika pretty well. Zebstrika can't really touch this thing, and I can just keep switching out to get my Regenerator boost. And I do have the EQ to pretty much one-shot it. I don't know if it's a one-shot, I didn't calc it, but I know it's definitely close to a one-shot, if not a one-shot. So Zebstrika is very thorough. And then this also allows us to beat the Mega-Aerodactyl one-on-one no matter what set it is. He can't really hit us very hard. Floor Cannon is obviously going to do a decent amount, but then again, I am a max special defense Tangrowth. He'll be lowering his special attack by 2, and I can just switch out and switch back in, and he really can't stand a chance versus this thing as long as I'm a healthy Tangrowth. So a very nice set for us. I can spam knockoff on his team on pretty much everything except the Pinsir, the Chestnut, and I guess the Mega-Aerodactyl to an extent, but then again, getting rid of that thing's item is great. So yeah, this Tangrowth set is nice. Rock Slide to potentially catch the Mega-Pinsir, and potentially, yeah, pretty much just for the Mega-Pinsir. Yeah, that is the Tangrowth set we're bringing. Next Pokemon we're bringing is Crocodile with the Rocky Helmet and Intimidate. Moves Earthquake, Rock Slide, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. I know you guys are probably thinking, whoa, Crocodile without Knockoff or Crunch or any Dark Stab. Yeah, I really value the Rock Slide on this because I really think Mega Pinsir is a huge threat to my team, and I don't have the best flying resist, so this is my Intimidate Rocky Helmet check. Pretty bulky, got almost max HP, and a lot of attack investment allows me to, I think it's to allow me to definitely one-shot the Shandy, and then definitely hit the, I think it might be a one-shot on the Magearna, depending on his sets. He could be a very bulky set and might live. If he shook a berry, he's living. But yeah, so this allows me to check a lot of things on his team. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is something like the Uxie coming in on this thing. Obviously it's Levitate, so Earthquake can't touch it, so hopefully he won't really think, well, then again, he should never think Uxie's a switch into Crocodile, so that's my theory behind it. I could potentially Toxic it, so it's not the worst case scenario. I really was contemplating Aerial Ace on this set, but I decided Toxic over it because Toxic in the Chestnut is just as good as Aerial Ace in it, in my opinion. So that's cool, and this thing is also a decent check to the Crawdon. If it starts getting scared, it can just keep coming in and intimidating it, so maybe that'll be a decent check to it. And maybe if he needs just a little bit of chip damage, I got that Rocky Helmet on deck. Rocks is great versus his team. The only hazard removal he has is Latios since he dropped the Avalugg, so I definitely want to get those up as early as possible. And the speed investment is to outspeed a Jolly Crawdon. Yeah, Jolly Crawdon. So if he wants to lock himself into something like Crab Hammer, I can switch in Earthquake and knock it out. So that's pretty cool for me. Next Pokemon we're bringing is Hot Training or Heat Train with the Choice Scarf ability, or Choice Scarf and the ability Flash Fire. So this is the second time we ran Scarf Train this season. Hopefully it can put in some work. I'm running Flamethrower over Fire Blast, that way I can hit as hard as possible without missing. Flash Cannon is nice stab as well versus the team, something like the Gigalith really doesn't appreciate it. Dark Pulse is also fantastic. Hits the Uxie, hits Chandelure, hits the Latios, stuff like that, and I really want to catch things off guard with this set. I outspeed everything on his team, including the Zebstrika, as long as it's not Choice Scarf, and the Hidden Power Grass is the hidden tech I got for the Seismitoad. He'll probably expect it, but maybe I can catch him off guard with that too. So the last Pokemon we're bringing is Patrick, our Starmie. Life Orb Analytic boosted attacks. I'm really trying to take advantage of this set while I can, because Starmie's a great Pokemon, because most people consider it to be a very defensive, fast, rapid spinner, but you can catch people off guard with its pure power, honestly, with Analytic, Life Orb boosted attacks. Hydro Pump is a nice stab. It hits his team incredibly hard. His switch-ins like Seismitoad and Latios really don't appreciate an Ice Beam or a Grass Knot. Grass Knot is specifically for the Seismitoad and the Crawdon. It OHKOs both of them, as long as they're not like super bulky sets like Rindo Berry, stuff like that. And I don't think he would be running a defensive Crawdon anytime soon. So and then Rapid Spin for hazard removal. So let's go right over to the battle. We see he brings the Magearna, the Seismitoad, the Uxie, the Crawdon, the Zebstrika, and the Chestnut. So right off the bat, no Latios, and yeah, which is a Z-Mon, and no Mega Pinsir. That's fantastic. So I was really looking forward to this matchup because of the fact that Mega Pinsir was my Mega last season, and I like to play against it, especially since I have a Mega-Aerodactyl. So maybe he was thinking the Mega-Aerodactyl could check it potentially, and he didn't want to bring it this week. So I was really surprised to not see that thing. And then obviously I was well aware the Crawdon was coming, because Crawdon actually does very well versus my team. So I really have to play around carefully. So looking at his team, there's really only two potential threats, the Crawdon and Magearna. If I can get rid of the Crawdon, it's so much easier to deal with his team, the rest of his team pretty much, and then really it's just about breaking through his walls. There's really no other offensive pressure on his team other than the Crawdon and the Magearna. Potentially something weird like Belly Drum Chestnut I could watch out for, or like Specs Zebstrika, but other than that, it's just the Crawdon and the Magearna, mainly the Crawdon. So like I said earlier, I want to lead with my Crocodile and get up rocks as early as possible so that I do just that. Get that Intimidate off, potentially scout his set. I didn't know if he wanted to set up his rocks, but I got my rocks up because he cannot get rid of them. As he just goes for a Scald, and I do not get the burn, or I don't get burned, luckily, so that's great. I get to switch out into my Tangrowth, scout the next move he wants to go for as he just goes for another Scald. Luckily, do not get burned again. But then again, he just switches into his Chestnut, and obviously I predicted a switch and go just straight for a knockoff. Get rid of this thing's Cobra Berry, which is interesting to see in a second, because he right here he goes for a substitute, So Covaberry Substitute, something really interesting. I don't really know what this thing wants to do, so I'm just going to break its sub. It can't really hurt me too bad. I got a bit of HP investments. We just go straight for the Drain Punch, get some HP back. And now that he lost his Covaberry, he cannot stay in here, and I'm just going to proceed to go for another Aerial Ace. His switch-ins includes Mega-Aerodactyl, and that thing doesn't really want to take too much damage. I could potentially Earthquake it too. So I just go hard into my Starmie here, predicting something like the, well, yeah, it's pretty much a defensive check to the Crawdaunt. I didn't want Crawdaunt to come in for free and try to Aqua Jet me, but then he just goes into this thing, and I don't want to reveal my set just yet, and I want to kind of scare him out with this thing. I do not have knockoff, but he does not know that, so I just go straight for the Toxic, predicting the switch, or if he wants to stay in, that's fine, I could Toxic that thing as well. So I'm able to Toxic the Chestnut, which is great, because he lost his item already, and he will pretty much be getting worn down 1v1, especially since I got this Toxic off on him. So he goes for Seed Bomb, I'm able to eat that up relatively well. Only does 11%, so I get to switch out into my Starmie here, and this was a very aggressive switch, because this is a very good Pokemon versus team, but I wanted to make this play just in case he wanted to switch into something else like the Crawdaunt or something along the lines of that's really offensive. So I'm able to catch the Chestnut on a Bulk Up, and okay, so yeah, I'm able to check it on a Bulk Up and knock it out with an Ice Beam. So I just go into Crocodile here because it really doesn't do too much now that I got my rocks up. It's very nice versus Mega-Aerodactyl, I guess, but that's about it. As he reveals the Signal Beam and knocks me out, I try to catch him on an Electric type move. I go into this thing because that thing just screams Choice Scarf, so yeah, I go into my Heatran here because obviously I Quadra Resist Bug. I'm able to catch the Uxie on a Dark Pulse, which is fantastic, and he does not know I'm Choice Scarf yet, so I'm just going to Dark Pulse again, wearing down this wall, potentially get a flinch, as he just goes straight for U-turn, and after rocks, he'll be at 5%, which is fantastic. He just goes into this thing, which is a pretty big deal. I have to go into my offensive check, which is Starmie. Meloetta can kill this thing from full with a Thunderbolt, as he does reveal the Dragon Dance. Now, I do still outspeed this set, and I'm able to knock him out with the Grass Knot. So I'm able to get the biggest the biggest threat of his team out of the way, which is fantastic. It's actually pretty early too, only turn 17. So he does go back into this thing, which then again, it is naturally faster than me, but it still screams Choice Scarf, especially from this damage right here. It does reveal that he is indeed Choice Scarf, and I'm able to get my Heatran in. So he does make a good play here and scouts the Hidden Power Grass, and reveals to me that he is indeed Sap Sipper, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I like the team build process right there. But I'm just gonna stay in because I know he's just gonna Volt Switch. I'm not trying to take more rocks damage on anything, so I'm able to knock out the Uxie with the Hidden Power Grass here. So yeah, now he should know my set. This is probably where he should have probably went into Mega-Aerodactyl and tried to take advantage of it. I would have just switched into my Tangrowth anywhere and be able to check it 1v1. But that's okay. So he's just going to take more rocks damage on his Pokemon, which is great for me, whittle down his potential threats. So I know that from this that he's probably carrying knockoff, and I actually wanted to get knocked off because the Choice Scarf didn't really do too much for me anymore, so I'm able to eat the knockoff pretty well. I didn't want to take a hit with anything else. I thought everything else was decent versus his team. So he goes into his Mega-Aerodactyl here. I'm just going to stay in and do as much damage as possible, as I get a crit, unfortunate for him, on his Shift Gear. So he will indeed outspeed me here, and he goes for the Dazzling Gleam, and I'm able to live it. So Meloetta has proven its bulk even without an Assault Vest. I do get a Paralyzation on the second one. Doesn't really matter too much because I could still win this game easily with the Tangrowth, so it would have been a 3-0 instead of a 4-0. Well, yeah, he kills me anyway, so it actually didn't matter at all. So unfortunate for him that I do get that. It really wouldn't have done anything else though. Tangrowth would have just done here, came right back in, and just EQ'd this thing. So we're gonna win this game 3-0. GG to Trevor, and it was a great 2 games versus him. Honestly, I really didn't expect the team that he brought this week, and I can't wait to see what happens in our at least our division, to see who finishes in playoffs, because in our conference it is Blue Victini and I at the top of the conference. He is 8-1. I think 8-1. I don't know how many wins he has, but he's only lost 1 game and I've only lost 2 games. So we're at the top by quite a bit of differential. There's really no one else that's really close to us. So it's really interesting to see who we will play in the first round of playoffs. I'm not sure if this clinches playoffs. If it doesn't, then the next game will. Or if any other person loses below us, it definitely will. So we are pretty much in playoffs. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. But yeah, I can't wait to get that rolling and at least get on another playoff run. Hopefully win the Season 3 title as well as the Season 2 title. I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. Let me know what you guys think. Your thoughts are much appreciated, and I will see you next time. See you later.